Beanie. Hi, Pam. So yogis, if you've arrived, just a minute or two more, just to get yourself settled. I'm sitting up on a rolled towel. I do have blocks, or you can use books, or as one of my fellow teachers today used in a online class, Dana Lucas, she very wisely used cans of soup or tomato paste, and I thought that was a great idea as well. So if you need that, you can go and grab that. Just take a minute or two just to really settle the body. Just take your time. Well, we just pause before starting. Perfect. This is Kitten, also known as Julian. This is Penelope. She seems to like this yoga practice. So as we begin tonight, just dropping into our seat. I'm seated in Sukhasana, this cross-legged pose. You might also bring your soles of the feet together if that seems more comfortable for you. You can always have your legs long as well. So really just honor what's right for you. And just quiet down that mind, come into your body. Feel the sit bones into the earth. Feel that lengthening of the spine. Let the shoulders just melt away from the ears, even just slightly nodding the head as you just bring space into your body, space into your mind. Soften the muscles of your face. I often bring us here to just notice how much tension we might hold into our face. Let the eyebrows and temples, let them relax a little bit. And all the tiny muscles around the eyes release and relax. Let the eyelids soften or even close them. And just come down into the mouth. You might open that mouth and just maybe yawn or move the jaw a little bit, move the lips, even stick out the tongue. And then just let the lips close. Let that tongue rest and settle behind the bottom row of teeth, creating space into our jaw. And then just begin to feel your body where this breath is, where this inhale and exhale are in your body right now. See if you can quiet it, soften it, take away some of that kind of tightness of the breath. And then just take a nice inhale through the nose and exhale softly out through the mouth. And two more, inhaling through the nose, out through the mouth. One more like that, inhaling and exhaling. And then just closing the lips, closing the mouth, and just taking this breath through the nose, inhales and exhales. Feel the breath as it rises and falls. Just begin to balance this breath, finding, if you can, some evenness between the inhales and the exhales. Often we find one breath shorter or longer than the other. So just see if you can just let that balance, let that even out slightly. Taking that inhale and that exhale. And when you find you've relaxed a little bit into the breath and found a little rhythm of the breath, you might move this breath into the practice of Ujjayi pranayama. This breath is staying with the inhales and exhales through the nose, but taking the back of the throat and kind of narrowing the passage there. So as you take the breath, there's a nice vibration that you can begin to feel into the back of the throat. There's a little bit more effort with this breath as the air passes through a smaller channel. But let the vibration kind of feed into your body. There's a sound with this breath, this inhale and exhale. There's a nice sound outside of your body. And just stay with this breath, the rise and fall, that soft vibration. Calming the nervous system with that nice healing vibration. Focusing the mind with that sound that's audible outside of yourself. But also warming the blood as the air passes through a narrow space, warming itself and warming the blood. Just stay with this breath a few minutes longer. Just feel the rise and fall. You can really play with this practice at home. Sometimes we get worried about making that sound, that audible sound of this breath. Really play with it now. Maybe there's just you right here, right now, and just to take that breath, make it a little louder. One more. Really nice. And then from here, we're going to take these legs and we're going to bring the soles of the feet together if you haven't already. So this is called Baddha Konasana, and I just want you to sit nice and tall. The hands can be either on the knees or the shins or down by the ankles. And I just want you to make some very soft, not forceful, kind of butterflies of the knees. Yeah, and then take a nice inhale, lengthen, sit a little taller. And then exhale, begin to just fold forward. It doesn't need to be big, really early into our practice. And I like to kind of move side to side, rock a little bit side to side as I kind of melt down over my feet. You might wrap the hands around the toes, or you might bring the hands, palms down onto the earth. Just let the head go. Let the neck release and soften. And just revisit that breath, that Ujjayi, that vibrational breath, or just bringing the mind to the inhales and exhales. One more breath here. And then We're going to take a nice inhale, kind of roll up onto the fingertips, so bring the hands down onto the earth and get a long spine, and then melt back into this with the exhale. And again, take that inhale, kind of reach long into the spine, up onto the fingertips, and then melt again with that exhale. And just one more, lengthening the spine, lifting the chest, and melting. And then from here, we're going to take these hands and walk them over to the right. And as we do, just feel a nice stretch coming into that left hip, that left side of the body. Don't overdo. Take a few breaths there, walking that left hand a little longer. And then slowly walking the hands back to center and then taking them over to the left. Letting that right sit bone kind of melt down into the earth, and just feel a nice stretch into that right side of the body. It doesn't, again, need to be big. Just opening up this evening. This nice gentle practice, a few soft stretches. One more breath. And then walking again back to center. Take a nice inhale. And then bring these hands back, stack the shoulders over the hips. We're going to take and place these soles of the feet onto the earth. And the legs are going to be out in front. I'm going to move to the side so you can see. I love this pose. It's a nice little kind of opener of the lower back and mid back. So legs are out in front, but there's a slight bend into them, and maybe about 2 fist distance apart of the legs and knees. And I want you to sit nice and tall here. And then just begin to take the belly and torso towards the thighs and knees. And then take the hands, and you can kind of wrap them underneath or behind the knees. So you might take the fingers, the wrists, or the elbows behind the knees. And then just kind of, again, move a little bit side to side. Take a breath here, a little inhale to lengthen you, just like we did earlier, and then just exhale into this pose. And just pause there for a few breaths. Just let that lower back and mid back and shoulders open up. Take another breath. And then staying here, keeping that little bind of either the fingers or the wrists or the forearms, just lift that belly button to your spine and kind of reach back a little bit. So you're getting a bigger stretch now, a little bit more if you can find it into the shoulder blades and the back of the neck. Really nice. And then release out of that. And we're going to release the hands and come back up. And then from here, we're going to just bring these legs, wrapping them around, and find tabletop position, hands and knees. So you might place that blanket or towel if you have it and you want to place it across your mat, then do. A nice little cushion of the knees. And then the hands spreading the fingers onto the mat. And then just taking a little bit of swing side to side. And just let the body, again, release tonight. Really staying gentle and easeful in your practice. Just calming us down, calming our nervous system. And then from here, we're going to take these toes and we're going to curl them under. So as we curl them under, just sit back towards the heels. The hands can walk out or push into the mat, sitting you back. Or you might sit up onto the heels if that's in your practice. Whatever feels right. Just think about the toes. We're kind of spreading the toes, opening up the soles of the feet. Taking a few nice breaths there. You might notice for some of you it can be intense into the feet. They get a lot of use being crammed into shoes and then walking around all over. So see if you can just open them up. Find some kindness. Massaging the feet, stretching the fascia through the soles. And then slowly coming back up, tabletop, releasing the toes and just giving them a nice little pat onto the earth. Perfect. And then from here, hands again under the shoulders. We're going to move into that cow pose as we lift the chest, lift the tail. And then we're going to round, tucking the tail, tucking the chin into cat. And then again, inhale, lift your pose to this cow. And then rounding as you reach into your spine, into this cat. A few more rounds. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale again to that cow, lifting the chest, lifting the tail. And exhale to that cat. One more time. Inhaling as you lift your chest, lift your tail. And exhaling into that cat. We're going to come back to that neutral spine, that tabletop. And I'd like you to bring your knees a little bit wider and toes together. And we're just going to sit back into this first child's pose. So similar to what we just did, but the toes aren't curled under. And you're really just letting the belly and chest melt down towards the earth. And you might find you can even bring the forehead down. And if that isn't attainable today, then you might stack these fists and just rest that forehead onto these fists, these hands. Whatever it is for you, just let yourself drape here. A nice opening into the lower back, outer hips, inner thighs. Should feel good. And just find that breath, the inhales and exhales. As we bow down into our practice tonight, honoring that we can come together in this form, taking care of one another, taking care of ourselves. One more breath. Now from here, we're going to take the hands and walk them over to the right. So as you do, and walking them over to the right, let that left arm reach a little bit longer and that right arm kind of bend just a little bit so that you can open up that whole left side of the body. And if you can, let the head release again and just feel the breath into the rib cage on that left side. And just pause the mind. Each time we move into a new space, see if you can resettle that mind. One more breath here. And then slowly kind of prancing the hands back to center. Take a breath and inhale, kind of like we did earlier. Exhale to melt. Find those fingertips and then walk the hands over to the left. And as you do, just reach through that right arm and let that right sit bone sit back and just breathe into that whole right rib cage. Feel the inhales and exhales. Beautiful. And then just coming back up onto the fingertips, prancing the hands back to center. Find the breath and then melt again, endlessly looking for space. And then very slowly, we're going to come back up, hands and knees, tabletop position, knees underneath the hips. And we're going to just reach into that cat pose, just kind of rounding the spine again, getting that nice tuck of the tail, should feel good. And then from here, back to that neutral spine. We're going to take this right leg and reach it out behind us. And I'm actually going to turn my back to you to show you what I'm doing. It's a little easier. We're going to take that right leg out behind us. And then we're going to take and cross this right leg over that left, curling the toes under. And then we're going to take the hip a little bit over to the right and the torso over to the left. And just kind of breathe into that right hip. Feel a nice massage into that hip. Gaze can be over that left shoulder. Good. Just take another breath there. Tap into that goodness. Tap into that right hip, that right rib cage. Perfect. And then just coming back through, take that right knee back down. We're going to take that left leg and just reach it out behind. And then cross that left leg over the right, curling the toes under. And then from here, take the hips over to the left and that torso over to the right. And just kind of breathe into that whole left side of your body, hip and ribs. Relax where you can the neck. Should feel good. Two more breaths here. One more. Perfect. And then bringing this left leg back round. And we're going to slide back into that child's pose. So just let yourself sink back down into that child's pose and always just find what's right for you. You might find you begin to open the arms a little bit more out in front, get into the chest and shoulders, but be really careful of your shoulders. If you have something in there that's irritated or a past injury, please just don't go into that place where it irritates our bodies and these very fine joints. And again, just endlessly revisiting the breath. One more. And then we're going to slowly come back up towards that tabletop, towards that hands and knees. And we're going to take and walk the hands a little bit more out in front of us. I'm just moving these props so you can see me. And then I'm going to have you take your hips and bring them forward. So you're in a kind of knee down plank now. And just feel the belly button lifting and let the collarbone spread here. And then very slowly, really connecting to your body, I just want you to let the hips dip a little bit. But as you do, let the chest lift and shoulders down the back of the body. Nothing forceful. Really get some core lifting to protect your back. Should feel good. Beautiful. And then very slowly just roll down, bending the elbows behind you, letting the chest roll down onto the earth. I'm going to slide back a little bit. And then as you arrive here, the hands, they're under the shoulders, kind of close to the body, and the elbows kind of drawing into the rib cage. We're going to push the toes down into the earth. And just lift your chest slightly forward, gaze slightly out in front into this cobra pose, Bhujangasana. I love saying that. And then just melt yourself back down. And then again, find an inhale, lift your chest, lift your belly button off the mat almost, like that sensation that you're doing it, but you're not actually. And then lower down. And then one more, lift that chest, open the heart, send it forward. And then melting back down. And then from here, we're going to take these hands and we're going to take and bring them a little bit wider off the edges of the mat. So the arms are a little bit more out in front and to the side. We're going to push again down into those toes. And I want you to begin to lift your belly, your chest off the mat. So a little bit of a deeper back bend, a higher cobra with wide hands. Take a breath, and then with your exhale, just lower down. And then, again, begin to lift back up, kind of rolling the front of the body off the mat, lifting the chest. Little bit of a back bend, should feel good, and then roll back down. And then one more, just lifting back up, heart goes forward, don't overdo. And then rolling back down. And then slide the hands back underneath your shoulders, elbows drawing towards your ribs, lift towards that cobra, and then back towards that tabletop, that hands and knee position. We're going to take this right leg and we're going to just reach it out behind us this time. So as we reach it out behind, the toes are off the mat. If you need, always feel free to bring them down onto the mat. And we're going to just take and find that leg reaching behind us, the gaze down and slightly out in front, ever so slightly. That right leg behind, see if you can play with taking that left arm out in front. And just breathe, really focused, really calm. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Beautiful. Bring that left hand down. Bring that right knee down. And then we're going to go to the other side, starting with taking that left leg behind us. And just don't rush this. Focus your gaze. Focus that you're lengthening and reaching out of the hips. And then slow, take that right arm out in front as well. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Beautiful. And then bring that right hand down, left knee down. And then just round your spine slowly into that cat. Should feel good. And then move into that cow. Perfect. Now, 1 more time, just rounding into that cat, tucking the tail, tucking the chin. And then this time, as you move into that cow pose, curl the toes under again, just like we did when we were beginning today. We're going to lift the chest, but this time, hands walk out a little bit more in front of us. And we're going to just lift the knees off the mat and come into a downward facing dog. But bring the feet a little bit wider and just move around. So bend one knee, bend the other, roll the head. Perfect. And then from here, we're going to take our gaze forward and slowly, little steps, make our way to the front of the mat. So take your time, never easy. Feet can be a little bit wider, and then just take opposite elbows and just drape the body here tonight. And you don't have to have a straight leg. Try and bend a little bit behind the knees, but kind of lift the core up and just let that lower back open tonight. And then switch the elbows, switch how you hold those elbows, and then take an inhale and exhale. Rock again side to side, feeling the shifting of the weight between the feet. Should feel good as the spine, the vertebrae all open up, bringing oxygen into them. And then just let the hands release. So they don't have to touch if they don't touch. Don't get worried. You can always slide the blocks under, or if you have a book or some jars, whatever feels right. And then from here, we're going to bend the left knee and walk the hands a little bit over to the right. So again, you might bring some props with you to just give you a little bit more lift. If you don't have them and you just want to slide the hands up to the leg, then do. It's all good. We're just kind of trying to get some movement for all of us tonight. Big stretch kind of up the back of the leg, maybe into the glute and lower back. And then slowly just walking back to center and then walking over to the left, bending the right knee. And just take a few breaths there. You can always move the hands wherever they feel right to you. And then slowly walk the hands back. We're going to take our first half lift. So sliding this time the hands to the thighs and get that nice length in the spine. And just let the shoulders draw away from the ears and the spine lengthen, neck lengthen. And then fold back, slow. Draw the belly in, not collapsing. And then again, take a half lift. Hands to the thighs, spine long, neck long. And melt again. One more. Sliding half lift, lengthening. And then melting. And from here, soften the knees even more. We're going to take the hands to the hip creases And then slowly, strong legs, strong core muscles, come up to standing. Eyes open because I don't want you to get dizzy. Good. Standing nice and tall. Then let the hands come down alongside the hips. Good. Just pause there. Take a breath. And then take these arms out to the side and then up to the sky. So as you do, I just want you to reach one arm and then the other. Same thing, kind of breathing into the ribs, into the hips. Same movement we did a little bit earlier. Same kind of area. Perfect. And then from here, just take and reach the arms long. We're going to take and find those opposite elbows again. And then as you do, take a nice inhale, reach long through the side body, and then take this over to the left, hips slow to the right. So it's not a big movement. Really want you to be lifting that core to support this. And then come back through center, and then take this over to the other side. Take your breath. Beautiful. And then slowly coming back, reach the arms long. And then from here, just kind of brush the fingertips down, letting the hands come down alongside your body. Feet can come a little bit more underneath you as we stand into our Tadasana, our mountain pose. And just take these shoulders, circling them. In these classes, I'm really just trying to touch all points of the body. We've just kind of probably not been moving as much as we normally do, or our whole schedule has changed. So just kind of let the body open up, switch directions, feel the breath, soften the neck. Perfect. Nice. And then from here, take these arms, sweep them up to the sky. And then from here, we're going to soften the knees and we're going to fold forward into a forward fold. Slide the hands. This time they can come to your shins or your thighs again. And then melt and release, forward fold. And from here, we're going to take planting the hands onto the mat. And we're going to take and step that right foot back. In the camera, it's going to look like my left, but I'm actually the same as you right now. And just pause there. Find a little bit of length and strength, crown of head to the front of the room. Take a few breaths, inhales and exhales. One more. And exhale. Find that inhale. And then slowly bring that right knee down onto the mat as you exhale. We're going to take this right hand, just place it onto the mat, or if you have that prop, you can bring it onto it. And we're going to take and twist to the left. So as we do, first bring that left hand to your hip, lengthen the spine and twist to the left, kind of stacking the shoulders. And get a little more space into the neck. If you like, you can always take the arm to the sky, but you don't have to. One more breath. And then slow, bring that left hand back down. So both hands are onto the mat. And we're going to take this left leg and we're just going to extend it a little bit. We did some of this the other night as well. Just reaching over. It doesn't have to be a straight leg, please. Don't force that hamstring. Take a breath or two here. One more. And then bringing that left foot back down onto the mat. We're going to take these hands, bring them up to that left knee, and then just let the shoulders stack over the hips. Yeah, and just find maybe a little bit more of a 90-degree angle with that left leg. And then from here, gaze out in front. Take the arms up to the sky, getting that nice reach, but then let the shoulders relax away from the ears. And just feel your breath here as we just pause, building a little heat as we kind of contain the muscles into the bone, into our center line. One more breath. Really nice. And then from here, we're going to take these hands, bring them back down to the earth, back down to the mat, curling the right toes under. We're going to step forward and lengthen into that half lift, and then melt into that forward fold. And this time we're going to take these arms, reach them out to the side, coming all the way up to the sky. Maybe the gaze goes up, and then bring these hands into your heart center. And just bow again. Bow into this practice tonight. Being present for yourself, present for each other. And then from here, take a nice sweep of the arms, reaching them up to the sky. Soften the knees and just fold forward. No rush at all. Find that half lift, long spine, hands to shins or thighs. Melt and planting the hands onto the earth. This time we're going to step that left leg back. And that left leg back, just pause there. See if you can kind of open up the collarbones, build some strength into that right leg. Taking a breath, inhale and exhale. Find another inhale, and then let that left knee come down onto the earth. And from here, placing that left hand, it can be onto the earth or onto a block or prop. We're going to then begin to take that right hand to the hip and then just slowly twist to the right. So don't overdo it. You're just kind of reaching into stacking the shoulders over each other a little bit. And that right knee kind of wants to roll out. See if you can draw it in. And just take 2 more breaths. You can always take that arm up to the sky if you like, but you don't have to. I'm really going to take that kind of gentle version for myself tonight. 1 more breath. You can feel the effort. Beautiful. And then if the arm is lifted, begin to bring both hands for all of us down either side of that right foot. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands to the top of that right knee and just lift ourselves up. Slow. Focus. Yeah. Kind of 90 degrees with that front leg. Lengthening the side body. The gaze can be out in front. And then take these arms up to the sky as well. And you can always lift the gaze and kind of relax the shoulders, even massaging that shoulder space a little bit with little circles, whatever feels good. 1 more breath here. Really nice. And then very slow, bring the hands back down to the earth, either side of that right foot. And then curl the left toes under, lift the left knee. And then again, we're going to step forward, kind of lengthen our spines again, and then drape ourselves into this lovely forward fold. Now, that pose that we did when we were seated with the bent knees, with the hands behind the knees, we're going to find that now. So I'm going to have you bring your feet even wider, maybe even hip distance apart. And then I want you to bend the knees so you're kind of almost draping your chest and belly over them. And then take the arms and wrap them behind. So it may be the fingertips. It may be that you find your ankles. And maybe that you bring your feet a little closer together and find the opposite elbows. Take a big inhale. And then with the exhale, just let yourself draw in here. And just pause there for a few breaths. You can always lengthen the legs a little bit more. So really just take it where it is for you. You'll feel this a little bit more into the upper thigh area, glute area, into the spine, into the neck, the shoulders. 1 more breath. Really nice. And then slow, release these hands down. Take another half lift to lengthen out all those muscles. Release into that forward fold. And then root to rise again, sort of rooting down into the earth, lifting up to the sky. Maybe the gaze goes up, and then hands come into that heart center. Really nice. Just feel the breath in your body. Feel the heartbeat. And then again, take a nice big sweep of these arms up to the sky. And then fold forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Nice little half lift here as you reach long with the spine. Planting the hands again, we're going to step that right foot back, but this time we're going to bring the right heel down onto the earth, and the toes are at about, say, 2 o'clock on a clock face. And then as we take this pose, this is that warrior one footing, just kind of lengthen the spine a little bit. Then take the hands to that left thigh and begin to lift yourself up, sort of helping yourself a little bit here. Then bring the hands to the waist, the hips, and then gaze out in front. Beautiful. And then slow, take the arms up to the sky. Feel the breath, feel the focus here. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Breathing in and out, having strength built into the legs, into the feet, into the ankles. Perfect. And then from here, we're going to open into warrior two. So that right foot opens up a little bit to, say, 90 degrees, and the arms reach front and back. And we're just going to stay planted into the earth with those feet, that left knee kind of over that third toe. So it wants to roll in. See if you can let it open up. You should feel this into the hips. It's a big hip pose. One more breath. Perfect. And then from here, we're going to take these arms, reach them up to the sky, straighten out that left leg. So get length in it, not force. And then we're going to bring the arms back to that T. And we're going to move a little bit forward with the left fingertips. And then that left hand finds the thigh. And we're just going to move into triangle pose. You don't have to go low here. Again, we're kind of stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders a little bit. Gaze can be down or up or out in front, wherever it feels right for your balance. Strong legs. I'm going to keep my gaze down tonight. Just really want to kind of manage that balance of effort and ease before I kind of settle into my evening. And then slowly bending that left knee, revisiting that warrior two. And then from here, we're going to just take these hands, bring them down either side of that left foot, and then step forward. Lengthen again, and then melt into that forward fold. And then this time, before we come to the other side, we're going to take and bring our feet a little wider again, and then turn the toes out. And then we're going to just sit back into this nice, kind of very modified yogi squat. If you'd like to go deeper, then do, no problem. But just really, whatever feels good, just rock a little bit side to side. Perfect. Loosening up the hips, the lower back, let the neck and head go. And then slowly you can begin to turn the toes back facing forward and come into this forward fold. And then heel toe the feet a little bit more underneath you. And then from here, we're going to take and step that left foot back. So I'm going to do it the other way so you can see it again. And you're going to bring that left heel down onto the earth. Toes are facing out, maybe at about 10 o'clock or so. And then from here, again, begin to lengthen, slide the hands to your right thigh, and then begin to lift up slowly. Eyes out in front. Hands come to your hips, and just kind of wiggle around a little bit. Find your balance, your focus. And then take these arms up to the sky. Take a nice inhale, and then exhale. 2 more. Again, just find that little bit of space that we need into the neck, into the shoulders, building strength into the legs, focus of the mind. And then we're going to slow, open to warrior two. So that back foot opens up a little bit. The legs maybe come a little bit longer with the stance. Arms reach out, gaze over the fingertips. And just feel that, yeah? There's a big kind of openness coming into the hips as a little different than that warrior one. It's much more open. One more breath here. I can feel the heartbeat kind of rising up. And then from here, we're going to take the arms up to the sky. And as we do, lengthen out that front leg, that right leg. And then bring the arms back towards that T. Take the right fingertips and just shift them forward a little bit. And then just move into triangle. That right hand comes down to that right thigh. The left hand can reach up to the sky. And you're really kind of getting the muscles into the side of your waist, lifting and helping you engage so you're not collapsing. Take one more breath. Actually, let's take one more now. Good. And then slowly from here, you're finding that warrior two again. But this time, we're going to take the front foot and we're going to turn it in. So we're back into a wide stance, but even wider than we've done yet. I'm going to have you bring the hands to the hips. And as you do, I'll stand to the side. I just want to get that little bit of a back bend as we lift the chest, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Should feel good. And then slowly begin to lengthen and fold forward. Take your time. Toes are facing the same direction as the crown of your head, the top of your head. Bring the hands down onto the earth and just find a little bit of movement here, side to side. Just slow, connected. Now, for some people, this pose is just really easy and kind of a deep, relaxing place. And for some of us, it's not so much. It's all hamstrings and lower back. So I really want you to just take your time to honor what's going on in your body. Try and just find a little bit of softness anywhere, just even in that breath, the inhale and the exhale. Inhale and exhale. Two more. And that exhale. One more. And that exhale. Really nice. And then from here, you're going to very slowly come back up. Kind of lengthen the spine. Bring the hands back to those hips. Lengthen and come all the way up. Eyes open for dizziness, right? Taking your time. And then you're going to turn that front foot back to the front of the mat. And then from here, you're going to take these arms, reach them up to the sky, and then just bring them down onto the mat and step back, finding your way to that downward dog. Or bring the knees right down into a child. Or if you like, you can just come through a flow of vinyasa, that plank. You might bring your knees, chest and chin down. Lift to that cobra. Beautiful. And then slide back to that downward facing dog. And wherever you are, if you're in child or in the dog, just take a few breaths. Just really let the body settle and quiet. Perfect. And then we all bring the knees down. We all find that child's pose, melting into it. Feeling the breath that's right in front of you. Listening for the breath right there. One more. And then as we rise up towards that tabletop, hands and knees position, we're going to take these legs, and we're going to wrap them around so that they're coming out into the front. And then from here, we're just going to begin to roll ourselves down to the mat. So you can do a core exercise if you like, or bring those forearms down, slightly tuck the chin, and just lower yourself down. Should feel really good. It does for me. Just find your space on the mat. Shift around slightly. Really good. Rock the knees side to side. And then from here, take that right knee, draw it in, wrapping the hands behind it. And then take that right leg, extend it to the sky. Hands can come behind the thighs. And just take a few breaths, kind of extending the leg a little bit longer and then softening behind the knee. Extending again. And softening. And one more, extending that leg, getting a nice stretch in the back. And then just soften it a little bit and begin to make some circles at that ankle. One direction, and then the other. Perfect. And then from here, we're going to take this right ankle and cross it over that left knee. And just allow that knee to kind of move away from your chest. Just open it up a little bit. And then you might stay here, or you might take these hands and kind of thread them behind that left thigh, drawing the knees in. And if you're really tight in the hips, don't force this. Don't make yourself miserable tonight. Bring that foot down, and you can always just kind of roll under the ball of the foot and back. So just taking a few kind of massages there. Or place the foot on a book or a block. So whatever it is for you. Relax the neck. Take your breath. Practice that kindness and that self-care. Two more breaths here. One more. Perfect. And then just bring this left foot back down onto the earth. And we're going to take this right foot down onto the earth. And we're going to come into a twist to the left. So you can take these knees if you like and bring them into the chest and then take it over to the left, coming into this twist that way. Or keep the feet onto the earth and just take the knees over to the left that way. So you notice one's a little deeper than the other. So just take what's right for you tonight. And again, just before we kind of settle into our evening, you might not want a big, intense stretch. You might just be kind of opening up, but also relaxing the body. That's what I'm doing. Feels good. You just pause here. Nice kind of twisting at the waist, the outer hip. And just two more breaths. Beautiful. And then slowly releasing the knees, letting your spine come back onto the earth. Again, you might just rock a little bit, windshield wiper a little bit. And then bring this left knee into your chest, giving it a hug. Get some space into the back of the neck. And then just extend this left leg long. Hands can come behind that thigh, behind the knee. And then just find a little extension into that leg. And then soften. And then just some extension. And soften. And one more, a little bit of that extension. Just feel the space into the back of the leg, not forceful. And then soften. And then from here, just begin to make some circles at the ankle, one direction. You might feel little clicks and clunks in the ankle, just saying. And then switch. Beautiful. And then from here, take that ankle, that left ankle, cross it over that right knee, and just pause here, sort of letting that knee, that left knee kind of roll away from your chest, kind of opening up that hip crease a little bit. And you might stay there, especially if you're really tight into the hips tonight. We might begin to take these hands, kind of winding them behind that right thigh and drawing the legs in. And if this feels like a lot, again, bring that right foot down. You might slide it onto a book or a block, or just roll up onto the ball of the foot and back down a few times. So just kind of feel what's right for you. This is the practice of yoga. It's just learning about yourself, learning to honor yourself. Do what's right for you. Wherever you are, just take a few breaths here. Just really feeling the breath. One more. Perfect. And then let that right foot come down onto the earth. And left foot comes down onto the earth. And then we're going to come into that twist again. So there's some options. You can bring the knees into your chest and then take this twist to the right, taking your time, or keep the feet onto the mat and take the knees over to the right. So whatever it is for you. And remember, each side of the body is different. So just take what you need. We'll just take a few breaths here. Yeah, and then from here, slowly coming out of it, bring those knees. This time, bring the knees into your chest, giving them a hug in, and then just letting them open a little bit wider. Just feel that lower back onto the mat, just kind of pushing down. And then just make some small circles of the hips, one direction. And then the other. And then bring these feet down onto the mat. And begin to take the legs long, so extending them long on your mat. And you can let them open up a little bit so the feet or the heels of the feet to the far corners of the mat. And then you might bring the hands down alongside your body. The palms might be facing up. If you have a blanket, you might cover yourself up here. And just let your body completely relax here. Let all the muscles go and melt into the earth. The back of your head, back of your neck, the backs of the shoulders and the shoulder blades. And just running down that spine, that natural curve of the spine until you come down into the glutes. Just feel them into the earth. The backs of the legs, as the mind just travels down, relaxing these muscles, feeling the heels of the feet. let the front of the body release, the hips, the belly, the chest, and the shoulders. Take a nice inhale and just exhale out. Just let yourself be here just for a few more moments. Place one hand onto your belly and one hand onto your heart center. And just feel the rise and fall of your breath. Just feel the rise and fall into your palms. And then slowly just begin to roll yourself over into your fetal position. Just pause there. And just wrapping yourself up. Just feeling the space for a moment of contentment, of gratitude. And then very slowly begin to lift yourself up, finding your seat. And bring your hands to your heart center. Just feel your body for a moment. Feel that breath. And then just bow into your heart. Find an inhale as you lift your head. Exhale out. And inhale together, possibly for Om. And as we bow to ourselves and bow to each other, honoring each other. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. Thank you so much. Have a good night. It's like I'm crawling here. I hope you enjoyed the practice tonight, and I hope you have a really relaxed evening. And we'll see you tomorrow. Be well.